Thank you for watching Not My Bag.
If you're watching this, make sure to like and subscribe.
If you're listening, give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Welcome back to another episode of Not My Bag. I'm Joe.
And I am George.
And this week, we have a very, very special guest, PussyCat doll, podcaster and DJ. It is Kimberly Wyatt.
Hey! Well, thanks for having me, guys.
That's
No
okay.
worries.
Thank you for coming on. I'm a big fan, I'm not going to lie.
Woo.
Very big fan. George, well, you actually love the PussyCat dolls music.
I do.
He heard it from my bedroom growing
I do
up.
like a few songs. I do. We'll get into that. Yeah. But you are our first American guest as well.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Even though we were having a little chat before this, and you said you're kind of learning you've been here 10 years now, so you've got our slang.
I do. I'm a bit of an accent mutt at this point.
Yeah.
A bit all over the place.
It's so good.
Well, didn't you want to ask about the football, George? I'll get that chat over and done
I'll
with.
get it
'cause
out of the
I don't know a
way.
thing.
I wanted to know who you're supporting this World Cup.
Yes, obviously England.
Okay, lovely. Come on my side. And what else was I going
But
to
we
ask?
support Liverpool in our house.
Oh, do you? Okay. All right.
I'd say we. I mean, it's mostly my husband Max. Like he's very
Right,
much
okay.
into Liverpool. But yeah, I get in and watch from time to time.
And is it football or soccer?
It's football. It is football.
I love that. I love that. Right, anyway, guys, that was today's pod.
Just steal her over then, George. I
Yeah,
guess,
sorry. So I had to get that out of the way.
I actually dyed my hair blonde for this pod to match Kimberly, so
Ooh, it looks good on you, mate.
thank you. Do you think?
I really do.
I had a
I'm
bit of a
digging it.
green ginger scare yesterday where I thought some chlorine got in it, but I guess I
safe.
got the seal of approval.
Champagne.
Champagne for everyone. I actually wanted to say as well at the start of this podcast, so I'm actually a really big fan of one song in particular, and you're going to be like, this is a really rogue song, but I have this iPod Nano playlist on my phone, and it's all the songs that I had like growing up when I was like 15.
Yeah.
And the Agro Santos song,
Candy.
I even played it recently. We had like an afters and I played it. I was
Yes.
obsessed with that song.
Oh, I love that.
I might make it my ringtone now.
Oh, please do.
How was that like collabing and recording that, by the way?
That was really good time. So it was after the PussyCat dolls, and I was looking for a really big, lovely track, and Agro came about, and he played it for me, and I was like, mate, this track is a banger.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is gonna do so well. So I jumped on, did my thing, we filmed the video, did some great choreography with some of the dancers,
Yeah.
and there it went, flying to the top of the charts.
No, I absolutely loved it. Banger, back in the day.
Banger.
I know some of the kids watching might not know it, but look it up because it's so freaking good.
I am one of them kids that doesn't know it.
I feel so bad for George because every time, like, if we have like drinks at mine, I'll play my iPod Nano playlist and I'll be like sing along everywhere, and he'll be like, "Can we change this over? Can we play Fred again?
I just have no
Can we
idea
play
what's going
Stormzy?"
on.
What are you into? School me.
There's an artist called Fred again.
Yes.
Who's like a magician. I like a lot of housey stuff.
So do I.
But obviously, yeah, me and Joe are so different. I play a song and he's like,
Yeah, but
30
Kim
seconds.
likes
He's
it.
like,
Name
so like
some
Disclosure
people.
and stuff. I
Yeah.
love Disclosure. Yeah, right, you put me on the spot. Oh, PussyCat dolls.
Well, speaking of which, I guess we'll talk about them because,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
Guess so.
kickstarted everything for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, no, George, I know that you, basically, what I want to say was George's got a ton of questions for you as well because
Yeah.
he loves learning about the guests I bring on. I mean, that's the point, isn't it?
That's the whole point of the podcast.
Got to educate you. You're young. You got to be educated.
No, literally, my first question is, what was it like being in like an all-girl girl band? Like,
I mean, it was epic. It's the way that it sort of came about. Like the PussyCat dolls had been around for over 10 years before we had a recording contract with guests like Pamela Anderson,
Hey,
and Carmen
Pammy.
Electra, Christina Aguilera.
Huge names.
Huge names, yeah, that would come and just do their thing. And when Gwen Stefani came to do the show with us, we're still just a small
I
sort
love
of...
Sweet Escape. I love that song. I've been acting like sour milk on the floor at your fudge, didn't shut the refrigerator. Maybe that's the reason I've been acting so cold. I had to get that one out.
That's
Sorry.
like the favourite thing in the world.
I just love it. Do you know what? When you're driving along, that's such a good song. I turn it all the way up and I'm like talking to people, rapping it, not even looking where I'm going.
That was so unexpected.
Sorry, I know. I haven't got.
He's a rap stressor, George.
You know when you ask what singers are like, Gwen Stefani, number one.
But she's the reason we ever got a recording contract.
Really?
That's how it all started.
Really?
Wow, how did that come about?
Well, Gwen came to do the show. She loved it. And she brought her record label, which was Jimmy Iovine, Interscope Records. It came, they saw it, they dug it. They're like, let's make it happen.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So
I'd have never
cool.
known that.
What a
Like,
fun fact.
Yeah.
Gwen
Well, we were at
Stefani.
Johnny Depp's Viper Room way back when. He's the reason it's named PussyCat Dolls.
No.
Wow.
way.
See, we're 5 minutes in and my mind is blown.
All these name droppings. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
What was one of your best memories of being in the girl band? Like, just off the top of your head.
I mean, winning Best Dancing in a Video and Best Dance Video at the MTV Video Music Awards was
Pretty
amazing.
massive.
Yeah, that's
that was
insane.
massive. And I mean, we've shared the stage with so many incredible artists. We had Rihanna opening for us. We had Lady Gaga opening for us. Like, huge moments. I look back and I'm like, that's pretty
cool, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But ultimately, I will always have this sort of visual memory of singing at the O2, Stick With You, and the entire arena singing and moving and, enjoying the moment with
Was that, would you say, like, when artists stand there, they just look out the crowd like you've made it? Was that kind of your moment? Like,
that
wow.
was my moment.
Yeah,
It
I'm obsessed with that.
I love seeing them
I want to
clips.
backtrack about the Johnny Depp thing, by the way.
I knew we'd bring this up.
No, because I'm like, hold on a second. So he named you guys? What?
So in the very beginning, Robin Anton, who's the creator of PussyCat Dolls, was living with Christina Applegate and was deciding to do this kind of burlesque cabaret-inspired show with fishnets and corsets and boas and things. And so Johnny Depp owned the Viper Room, tiny little cool rock and roll sort of bar with a stage. And they would go and do these little performances. Johnny loved it, was like, you've got to give this a name. And it became PussyCat Dolls and continued to perform at the Viper Room for the next 10 years.
That is so crazy. And the fact that it started there to the level it got to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was unreal. I mean, Don't Ya, that was a track that was just sent us around the world immediately. It was like overnight fame.
I was about to say that. So did it just go 0 to 100 basically?
0 to hero, babe.
Well, I'm glad it did.
Me
I'm glad
too.
It did.
Punk Doll was born. I was out there with my mohawk doing the big kicks and everything and just making it happen.
Oh my God. So traveling the world, obviously, do you have any favorite moments from touring?
I mean, just the fact that there would be people at our hotels everywhere we went that just loved what we were about was amazing. It was like confirmation that you as an artist, as a talent, we're doing something pretty epic.
And globally as well.
And globally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine in the US or something getting recognised, but if obviously you go Southeast Asia or something and you're touring and someone's like, oh my God, Kimberly, you're probably like, what?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
And I know you mentioned the choreography aspect. Did you think that the choreo was going to be that iconic? Because that's what a lot of people know the PussyCat Dolls for. And when you were obviously coming up with the moves, collaborating, did you have any idea this is going to be massive?
Well, I think with Don't Ya, in the beginning, we had no idea. But then once we got the ball rolling, we got to see that dance was always the drive of the PussyCat Dolls. And even as we were crossing over to being a recording group, it was still we were waving the flag for dance within the pop industry. It had never been done before.
Yeah.
And that felt amazing. And my gorgeous friend Mikey Midgen was choreographer, and I would always be right there with them assisting and making it happen. And I think the moment where we knew something big was happening was when we were doing When I Grow Up. And he was like, I hear this moment in the music where I just want a big leg. And so I went home.
You're like, I'm flexible.
Hold my bag. Let me go figure this out. I dreamt of grabbing my leg over my head and yanking it to the side. And that became the leg tilt that Michael Jackson has a moonwalk. I've got the leg tilt. And I think that's pretty awesome.
Well, I was going to mention that because that is my favorite PussyCat Dolls song. And I was obsessed with the video. And I remember that and watching it as a kid. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. This woman can bend. And boy, can you. Can you still do it?
I can still do it, babes.
We're going to have to ask you to do that afterwards. 100%.
That's fine. I'm in trousers.
I think that I will piss my pants when I see it. I'm not going to lie. That would be a full circle for a little gay like myself to just be like, I think I made it today when I see you do the leg tilt.
I love that.
Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped.
It's never too early to whack on the holiday music, and it's obviously never too early to start thinking about gifts.
Whether it's for a friend or a friend in your pants, you can be jolly this season with Manscaped.
I've been using Manscaped recently, and my balls have never been smoother, I can't lie.
Nice. Well, I actually found that it really helped improve my confidence because now mine feel like smooth little plums.
Yeah.
This bum.
The 4000K LED light is like bloody landing a plane down there when I'm...
I bet it's like Rudolph's nose if we're getting into the holiday spirit, eh, George? Just shining the way through your pants. I've got a couple of gifts that I might give out. Maybe to Dad, there's the crop preserver and the crop reviver. So, one's for helping you smell nice down there, one's to tone them. I think Dad does need some toning for his balls.
How do you know?
I don't.
Now that you've groomed your candy cane, you can get 20% off and free shipping with our code NOTMYBAG with 2 Gs from manscaped.com.
That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code NOTMYBAG with 2 Gs. So get those jingle balls ready.
I just wanted to obviously bring it back to what you were saying as well about the performance aspect of it, because I feel like that is what really like differentiated you guys as a group, because not only was obviously the music good and stuff, but when you watch the performance, you were like, what? Do you know what I mean? Everything was choreographed. Everyone was moving. Like, as you said, legs were flying.
Yeah.
Was that like, obviously, was that hard, I guess? Because you got to know who's singing all what bits and everything. And then all of a sudden you've got to learn a whole routine.
Mate, we weren't pop stars. We were athletes. Like
I bet
it was intense. Like
blood, sweat, and tears into every moment that we ever were on stage doing anything. Like, you know, there's always like this rock and roll thing where everybody can go and get smashed and do their thing. It's a PussyCat Doll. It was like you're in boot camp. You know, we'd have lovely, wonderful moments, but our shows were intense and it took every ounce of us to do what we do. So yeah, it did.
Because we've been to concerts and stuff, and like Little Mix, for example, and in the end, you saw how like puffed out they were, and they weren't moving half as near as what like you guys used to do. But do you know what I mean? And we were right quite close to the front, weren't we? And they, at the end, they were like having to go get water and stuff, and you guys had just smashed out, and then you'd be like, oh, see you later. And then probably go to another show or something.
No, I do look at the way music has evolved, and like I feel like back in the day as well, there was a lot, like I feel like a lot more was given to live shows and touring. Do you know what I mean? I don't get the same buzz that I do now seeing a live performance as I did as a kid watching it. Do you understand like what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I feel like I don't know whether it's streaming, the way things have changed, but I feel like maybe the craft, it's just not like it was before.
Well, I'll tell you what, I felt that too. And I feel like we were almost of an era where it started to die out. And even when we came back together just before COVID, and we were doing some shows, we were getting ready for a world tour. We did GAY, and it had been 10 years, I think, since the last time we'd performed. And again, it was like, there was something about it that brought back to the stage what once was.
Yeah.
There was a line from GAY all the way down to Trafalgar Square. People were ready for it. And it's because you create this momentum as artists that you could way back when it was, the industry wasn't so watered down like it is now.
Yeah. I understand what you mean completely.
It's unfortunate and amazing at the same time.
Yeah, it's like it gives more people a platform to like achieve what they want to do. But at the same time, as you said, it's kind of lost that, you know, the big moments of releases and, you know, those massive moments. So, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But thank you, athlete.
Athlete, pop star, mum.
I know. You've got it all under your belt, haven't you? I wanted to ask as well, just personally, what is your favourite PussyCat Dolls song? Either to perform or just to listen to?
To perform when I grow up.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I love
such
that
a
so
banger.
much. It is. It's truly. You loved that growing up as well.
That was a song that was played in our household, and I always used to sing it or like the chorus or something. Obviously, I was so young, I never realised it was the PussyCat Dolls or something. It's just a catchy song, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. And I mean, Don't You is a classic. Like that song will live on forever.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yes.
I used to get confused by that lyric, you know, because I thought it was boobies, but it's not, is it?
It doesn't help that our dance move goes like that.
I remember that growing up, and I was like singing it as boobies, and then it's groupies, isn't it?
It's groupies. It is.
Honestly, the day I found that out was a sad fucking day. I was sat there and I was like, well, I've been singing that the whole time. You were singing it as well.
Yeah, it's just it's easy to say, and it just rolls off the tongue.
Boobs.
So like, why? So after all the success and how amazing it was going, why did you guys decide to break up after, was it 10 years?
Yeah, I think it had been about 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a really difficult, hard decision to make, but ultimately the business of the PussyCat Dolls was really hard. They expected a lot of us, and what we were getting back it didn't really add up.
Okay.
And so I had every conversation I could to change the situation, but when, you know, you realize that you can't, then you have to make a change yourself.
Of course.
So
was there any
members
who really wanted to stay? Any members that really wanted to like disband? Were you like the sort of person trying to keep everyone together? What was it?
Yes, I was trying to keep everybody together, but I knew everybody was unhappy. So I was having those difficult conversations and getting all the label heads and lawyers and everybody into one room and
awkward conversations.
That weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I wasn't just going to stick around for the unhappiness. I love what I do, and I didn't want that to be taken. So,
and also, I guess you didn't want it to end really sour. If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
I did want it to end it all, but ultimately, it was also, I knew that the deal we had, it was the first 360 deal that had ever been done in the recording business.
Right.
And that's kind of pretty standard to this day. And I knew that it was always a stepping stone. It was never supposed to be forever. For them, it was made to be a moneymaker, and they were keeping us.
Platform.
Yes, exactly. So I didn't want to miss my moment to jump from my little stepping stone to create whatever was going to come afterwards.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like I had to do it.
Because I remember seeing online that, correct me if I'm wrong here, because you never know what's true and what's not.
Yeah.
That with the deal that you had, it's almost like you were paid like a salary, like a cast member.
We were employees as well as artists.
So you weren't getting like the royalties from music as such. You were just getting kind of like paid. Like, is that right?
I mean, it's right to an extent.
Sure.
We certainly didn't make what most artists would make.
Okay, fine, yeah.
But I still can't complain because the platform that we got, and we knew what we were getting into. And if I went back, I would probably do it again.
Yeah.
But that means that you make different choices as you're growing, because you got to watch your own back, because nobody else is, honey.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a really hard business to be in 100%.
We've had a couple of conversations with people who obviously were at the top like you guys, and they've all kind of said the same thing. You just got to watch your back, and it can get quite lonely at the top, because obviously you're at a point where everyone wants to be that like number one, or do you know what I mean? So
it's also a lot of artists don't even make money from touring and things like that, do they? Like you put through the paces, you've got to do all that stuff, and realistically, you're not actually making anything back from it. Like the stories you hear, you just sit there. That's why a lot of people I know, like Ray's done it recently, Tinashe did it, like going independent, and Iggy Azalea, and just doing things on their own. That's a lot more common now, isn't it, of artists doing that as well? So yeah,
it's a much different world than it once was.
I know. I was going to say that things have changed a lot. So I have a question that I really wanted to ask you for a very long time, and it is: I heard that "Just Dance" by Gaga was initially intended for Pussycat Dolls. Is that true?
It is true. So in the very beginning, Lady Gaga was signed to Interscope mostly to write songs for the Pussycat Dolls.
No
And Just
way.
Dance happened to be a song that was written for us, but management or whoever passed on it, and was the song that broke her as an artist.
That is insane.
Yeah.
do you ever think like, what if the Pussycat Dolls had that
I just
song,
can't see it being a Pussycat Dolls song, though.
It's so iconic as Gaga's. Like,
I think that's the thing now, isn't it? Maybe at the time it might.
I know, I could definitely see you guys on stage popping moves and stuff to Just Dance.
we
And,
could.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the leg bend to Just Dance.
Yeah. But look, it is what it is. I just wanted to ask quickly, is there anything, probably isn't, there might be, is there anything that you'd ever, if you could go back, you'd like change or anything about the whole, I don't know, like the world you were in with the group or anything?
Yeah, I mean, because I would have loved to. I love being a Pussycat Doll. There's nothing like being on stage with the girls, but the business behind it made it almost, it was
Intolerable,
too intolerable. That's a big
word for me, isn't it?
It's a big word.
That's
Well
big
done.
word.
Yeah.
It really added. And I just wish it could have gone differently. Everybody wanted to make money off of us. Everybody did, but it meant that it killed it, and I think that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, no,
So
I
I'd go
agree.
back and fix that.
I think sometimes when you don't stop liking the thing that you loved before, and then things get in the way, it's really hard to get that back, isn't it? 100%.
And there's strength in numbers. I think when you're on stage, if you allow everybody to really shine, I think that gains a bigger audience, and it relates to so many more people. And I know within that group, there was so much talent that we'd only just sort of scratched the surface. So if I was to go back, I feel like it's a bit of a shame that we never really got a chance to show what that group was really made of.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I was going to say, I've got some fan questions, but there's also, I wanted to touch on, because with the highs that you get with being in an international, like well-known girl band, is also the controversial side of it as well. And there's been so much, as you've just touched on, with the Pussycat Dolls that people have questioned. So I'm going to grab up some of these questions from people.
God. I'm going to need a drink for this one.
And I'm going
I'll add, it's not really controversy, but I read this, because I remember seeing it basically. I think it was back in maybe 2015. You might be able to correct me. And it was your performance on The X Factor.
Yeah.
And that I didn't even realize. Apparently it was a controversial performance, but I didn't realize apparently it got 400 Ofcom complaints.
What, from the last performance on X Factor?
Yeah, you know when you performed and
Right before
The React
COVID.
performance.
Yeah. And that was like, yeah. What did you think?
What was going on?
No, not what was going on, but did you ever sit there and be like, oh, we've actually just had 400 Ofcom complaints? Or just, because I don't know, I feel like that was you guys. You just killed it. Do you know what I mean? But
I agree. And I guess like PussyCat Dolls is quite provocative. Like we always have been. That's kind of part of the branding
DNA
of the whole thing. But I guess when our amazing costumes are in people's faces, sometimes they get a bit like they don't know what to do with it.
I feel like it kind of goes back to what you said though, how times have changed. Like you don't really see like a girl band do that sort of stuff like ever nowadays. There isn't a girl band that would, I don't think, get on stage.
I just think you all look good. It was an insane performance.
Yeah.
Like, it was bringing everyone back to the
throwback days.
We were re-educating.
Yeah. And I just feel like normally the people that are moaning are the people that are a little bit jealous, that are like, oh, like they're still good. Do you know what I mean?
Well, see, this is the thing. It's almost hard for me to answer because I'd worked for 2.5 years to get the reunion over, like
over the line.
Over the line. Thank you. I'd signed the contract, and then 2 weeks later, I'd been feeling really ill and I didn't know what was going on. And I found out that I had a surprise pregnancy. So I got on stage for that performance.
Wasn't it 2 weeks after?
7 weeks after a cesarean.
It's insane.
So literally was breastfeeding backstage, being like, feeling so vulnerable. I'm not even in my own body. My organs haven't gone back where they're supposed to be. I had a doctor on standby just in case something exploded within me. And it was like, quite dangerous.
Yeah.
And so I do this performance. I see this picture. I'm like screaming afterwards and just elation from what we just accomplished. We literally had 3 days of rehearsal.
To do that
of rehearsal.
Wow. I mean,
and
water and everything.
Yes, babe.
3 days.
So then to walk away from a situation like that, just to people like, nah, I'm not having this.
Yeah, that was shit.
No, exactly.
You know
How dare you?
I don't even think it was that good. She almost died.
Wow.
The sacrifices I made that day.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But people don't see that stuff. They turn on their CV, not CV. Bloody hell, that Rose's gone to my head. Turn on their TV and they just think like, oh, I'll just switch this on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll just prance around those outfits, but they never see like the craft that goes behind it.
They don't. And that's
doctor
a
on
shame.
standby.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental.
But people they judge what you don't understand. And I think that ultimately, we are the base of the PussyCat Dolls is dance. And dance is tight costumes so that you can move and do your thing. And as women, you do have cleavage in certain things. And why not show it? It's part of the show. And unfortunately,
I definitely wasn't complaining. When I watched the performance, I'm not going to lie.
You weren't complaining.
I was actually messaging Ofcom going, more of this.
It's George Bags. Ignore the complaint.
I say yes. Thanks. I like that.
Well, one of the questions that I had so much was, so this went viral on TikTok. It goes viral all the time, I find this clip. It's, the thing where Melody comes out from like, I don't know if she comes out from backstage and she's like, like that. And it's just like a lot. And like, you can see Nicole's like, is that whole story true? Like, was she locked in a closet backstage? Did she break out of the closet to come? Like, I'm so confused about what happened.
Okay, so here's the story. We were on tour. We had to fly back from, I don't remember where we were, I think Europe, to the States to do the AMAs. This was the American Music Awards.
Yeah.
We flew back, had one night of rehearsal, and then did this performance. When we got to the airport from our tour buses, Melody realized that her passport was still on the tour bus. Tour bus was on a ferry in the middle of the ocean on the way to the next gig. So there was no way to go get the passport. So we had to leave Mel while she waited for something to be figured out to get her passport and came later.
Right.
So she missed the one night of rehearsals, showed up literally 2 hours before the performance.
Right,
and she didn't want to miss the whole thing. So she came out for a nice big riff at the end to let people know she was still there.
And boy, did she. Boy, did she.
There was no closet. She was not locked up.
Because all I pictured in my head was Nicole Scherzinger being like, yeah, stay in here.
She's like,
you're not going. Like, it was painted out to me so dramatic, and I still to this day like find it the funniest thing. I was actually watching it on the way here, and I was like, no, this is so jokes.
I have seen some of the memes, and they do make me laugh. I will say they do. But you know, Mel's got bad boy vocals, and that girl wants to show them. And there was some times where she was just so frustrated the fact she joined so that she could show that part of her.
I did see that in interviews, and she said that her biggest asset was her voice, not really dancing, and she wasn't able to showcase that. Which kind of brings me to the question, because there's so much around Nicole being the front runner and how much was put onto, you know, like her vocals. I know that you were recording, I don't know whether this is true actually, I saw this in the papers, that you were recording for new music, you had React. Was there or is there going to be an opportunity for the girls to show their voice, or is that now like not a thing? I was just wondering.
I mean, one can hope. I mean, we were set to go on a world tour before COVID. We'd sold out the UK. Like, it was going really well.
Yeah.
It gave me those 2 years of being locked up, of being like, no, we've got a world tour after this. Like, I was so excited. Brazil, we've got so many amazing fans. We're finally going to South America, going to see our Brazilian fans, going to pretty much every country from there. And then there was just a lot of business dealings going on between sort of the head of the brand, Robin, and Nicole, and it's still continuing. So it all got canceled. I cried my eyes out, and I don't know what's going to happen next.
I bet. So is the newspaper story true? Not me. I just love a paper, don't I, George? We get it every Sunday. I'm sat there. I'm like, bloody flick through this. Because the streets say that Nicole just cancelled and didn't tell you. Is that what happened?
Well, Live Nation ultimately canceled the dates.
Right.
I don't know the ins and outs of it all, but the way it was all communicated wasn't very kind or nice to most of us in the group. I remember I was doing Dancing on Ice at the time, and we were just starting the live shows, and I just got this tweet like, your tour is canceled, from a fan. I was like, what? Really? I was devastated.
Oh, that's the worst way to find out as well, isn't it?
Worst way. And I've been doing like Instagram and TikTok lives throughout all of COVID, teaching choreography for all the doll songs. Like, guys, we're going on tour. I can't wait. Like,
I just bet you were gutted.
Gutted.
Well, I do. I mean, fingers crossed. We'll touch in wood.
Hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like something's going to happen. I just don't know what, how, where, when, who. But I guess
I know what you mean.
TBC, dot.
Me and my friend Ella had tickets. I know we had tickets. I was very ready. I was probably as gutted as you were. Me making it main character. I was as gutted as you were. The actual pussycat doll. Me like, I was gutted too.
Every time a date they were supposed to be on stage would go by as we're in COVID. I'd be like, it goes another one. We were even booked for Glastonbury.
Oh, that's insane. The biggest. Why not?
I could be done after that, you know? Yeah. And that date came and went. I was like, oh my God.
Well, fingers crossed. It was such a shit time. So many people.
It was.
There was good stuff coming out of it, bad stuff. I just think, who knows what's going to happen, as you said, but fingers crossed. I mean, from my side, dig out the old merch, get going.
You know. But in the meantime, I've been DJing and turning sort of my DJing into a show. I was on stage with 4 badass dancers just last weekend, and just still throwing down, still getting that leg up there, boys.
Oh my God. So what spurred on the DJing, and where do you do it now? What's the whole thing
I love music. I love playing. I love being on stage. So when my husband and I got married, we went to Mauritius and then ended up in New York while waiting for my visa. So while I was in New York, I went to Run DMC's Scratch Academy to learn the trade of DJing.
No way.
And then came back, and through most of my pregnancies, I was just touring the clubs, doing loads of festivals, DJing, doing my thing, getting my cred. Yeah, and now I'm at this point where I'm like, now I'm ready to take it to the next level. I've always seen it as more of like a big badass show.
Yeah,
so
that's so cool.
That's where we're headed.
I know who I'm booking for my next birthday party.
Let's go.
Leg kicks galore. You'll have to teach me. I'll have to get stretching.
Yeah.
I want to do it with you.
Yes.
I can't even do the splits.
What?
I can't.
Can you touch your toes?
No, I can barely bend down.
Really?
I need to start working out again.
You need some just mobility.
Yeah.
You know?
God, I sound 85.
Yeah, I was about to say, sounds like 60.
I just need a bit of like mobility.
Heading for retirement.
I think I can't even touch my toes or anything like that.
Well, I have a dance academy. You can come and take some classes from us.
I'm booking. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it 100%.
Yeah.
Get me in. Do you want to come?
Do you know what? I'll sit this one out, actually.
My boys, have you heard of Flawless Dance Crew?
I haven't, no.
They were on Britain's Got Talent. Well, they came second, I think, on Britain's Got Talent, maybe third, but they are brilliant street dancers. Probably some of the best in the UK. And so we could get you doing some street dance.
George is actually really good at dancing.
Yeah.
No, you actually are. You are a really good dancer.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks. I don't want to take my own horn or nothing, but, you know.
No, I think you are. It's really annoying when you start dancing because I just stand there and I'm like, I can't do this.
Really?
Anything that you see on TikTok is, for me, comedic dancing. Like my head and my body just do a different thing.
Yeah.
I did try out to be a cheerleader once, though, when I was like 9. Doing
And look how that went.
acrobatics and stuff. I mean, it went really bad, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
But now look at me. An immobile 25-year-old, but got Kimberly Wyatt on the pod, so all worked out. I had another question, because I remember this, I think it was like a couple of years ago, and there was this talk about the Pussycat Dolls reforming, but like a new generation, and like Pia Mia was going to like head it up. Was that a thing? Because I was at the time I was like, I'm sorry, but if any Pussycat Dolls come back, it's like you guys.
Yes, that was a thing. And the way that went about.
I suppose it's a really random person to like be the forefront of the group. Pia Mia, like, I don't know, out of everyone. Get Gaga in or something, or...
What?
Well, like, she's done one of their songs already. She might as well come on and sing it with
It
them.
was just such a rogue thing to be like, do you know what, we're going to create a next gen of Pussycat Dolls. It was really, yeah.
I mean, I'd been having chats with them for, like I said, it took 2 years to get the contracts done. And previous to that, you know, we're just trying to figure it out. And we're all moving forward, and I thought everything was going great. And then I was speaking to some TV companies about doing a documentary about how we were going to reform and make it all happen and get back on stage.
Yeah.
And the night before my last big meeting, getting the whole project over the line, I got a call from the manager. I was like, so listen, we're going to make all of you guys ambassadors of the brand. And when you go to your TV meeting tomorrow, just tell them that it's now Pia Mia and all new girls. I was like,
What?
where did this come from? What do you mean?
Ambassadors of the brand.
Ambassadors! It felt like such a smack in the face.
That's taking the piss.
It was.
That really is.
Thanks.
No, it is. You are the Pussycat Dolls. They're like, oh, so you're gonna be an ambassador now. Like, we're ambassadors for brands,
even
aren't
mean?
we? We're some.
I'm taken aback by that. You know, Jack Wills have brand ambassadors or sports director. You don't say to a Pussycat Doll, I think you're going to be a brand. Sit this one out. I think you're just going to reshare some stuff in your stories.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It is crazy.
You've really been through it, haven't you?
I have, babe.
I bet you had to like hold your tongue when you got that call. Like, oh, okay, really?
Oh
is
my
that true? Yeah. Is that
I
true?
bet the mute button on an iPhone came really handy then.
Yeah.
No, with one sec.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
But
hell.
it didn't work, did it?
No,
No,
and
it
good.
didn't
and
happen.
good.
It didn't happen.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like stuff like that, it's obviously, it wouldn't be the same as the original Pussycat Dolls
It'd be a
anyway.
parody group.
And then that's what I mean, everyone, you would get like the memes being made about you, like, what is this? People want to see, if you want to see the Pussycat Dolls, you want to see the original
Look at the
Pussycat
Sugar
Dolls.
Babes
Thank
as
you.
well. Like, they had like 20 million lineups.
Yeah.
And by the time that they did that, you know, when they kind of, they were all new girls. And I mean, I love those like 3 songs that they released. Like,
Yeah, they're
but
badass.
they're more like parody songs. Do you know what I mean?
Get
I listen
Sexy.
to them now. I mean,
Such a great track.
Insane. Where My Kiss.
Yes.
So good. But I mean, like, I look back now and all my friends, we're like, we love these songs, but they're like so trashy. You look at the original Sugar Babes when you want like Sugar Babes, which
Yeah.
would be the same if that was happen, I think. So
I can't think of like a boy band that has ever happened to.
no, neither actually.
I could imagine with someone like One Direction, when they all wanted to split up, they were like, oh, we'll try and get someone else in and you guys can, and obviously, look how that
I don't
ended
think
as
they'll
well.
ever get back together now.
No.
No, there's no. I can never.
Not with Harry Styles
Do
flying
you see
like
Harry
him.
Styles and Liam Payne actually performing together now? No.
I can't see Harry's performing with anybody.
No,
Really?
me neither.
No.
Me neither. That man is a god. That man is an absolute.
He's
We
ghost.
saw him at Summertime Ball in the summer, Capitals one, and we and he came out, and there was all like these 12-year-old girls screaming. I was like, yeah!
He was one of them.
Running him out of the way off the balcony. I was like, get fucked. I was loving it. I was absolutely loving it. Oh, he's
that's
amazing.
amazing.
He's amazing. Was there any actual doll that never sang on any album?
No.
No. You all sang.
No.
Always had a part to play.
Ooh.
Yeah,
There's always something.
I mean, look, at least you get in the studio and get on with your day.
Babe, I'm not complaining. You just gotta own it. It is what it is. It was always built, at least there's some oohs and ahs.
Exactly. It's room for everybody.
Enjoy what you get.
I'm having a look as well, because there was one. We've already touched on the tour. Oh, I love this question. I don't know if you can do this. Rank your favourite Pussycat dolls that you're closest to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's been my closest mate since before we were in the band together.
Okay.
She's auntie to my kids.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So she's like the closest one.
She's the closest one. Yeah.
Who's your least closest one?
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way. Just someone it could have
communication or
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know really. Probably Carmit, because she was in the first album and then not in the second album.
Right.
So we've created a lot of history with and without her.
Yeah.
But only because of that.
Okay. Just touching on that quickly, do you still keep in contact, like good contact with them, or I don't know, I wouldn't say meet up for lunch and stuff, because obviously you guys are all super busy, but do you have time where even if it's a quick FaceTime or something?
I mean, I'd like to think so. I certainly put it out there and I try my best, but girls are busy. The fact that we're split between LA and over here makes it tough.
Halfway across the world.
Having 3 kids makes it difficult, but it's a funny relationship because I absolutely adore them and I love them. They feel like family. Most of the dolls were my bridesmaids in my wedding. The love is real and it's deep. But there's also we're both all sitting here kind of dealing with the feelings of the fact that we were supposed to go on a world tour that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, bittersweet.
It is really bittersweet. It feels like there's this big unending. So even as friends, when you get together, as much as we love each other, there's still this yearning of
what if, when's it gonna happen?
What the hell happened?
What the hell just happened?
Yeah. I get you 100%. Well, someone else asked, we found out with Mel C that she had a fight, while touring. I just wondered, has there been any drama or beef while touring, or do you know, because it must be quite a high pressured environment to be with these girls.
Even tiny things, if someone's running late, you're on in 30 seconds, someone's I need a wee, or
you'll be really amicable. I'm has there been any punch ups?
No,
any hands, any nails?
What I'm saying is something leading up to you going up to them fucking get your shit together.
There's so many dramas, of course. They worked us so hard. We were worked to the bone. We were worked harder than 50 Cent and Eminem at the time, who were flying high. They wanted to see they wanted to see the bank account fill from us. So we did everything. Yeah. Which meant that we were tired. We put everything on stage and emotions were running high and everybody wanted to make their mark. So of course there were times where, there was cat fights, shall we say. It never came to fists or anything, but it was a very
What a shame.
Oh God. Yeah.
But it could have done.
Yeah, we found out that Jerry Halliwell got punched in the face last time.
Oh my God.
Was it Jerry or was it Emma?
No, it was Jerry. Jerry got punched.
I know, can you believe?
No, I never punched anybody. I'm sorry.
I did do a quick leg kick to the face. I would with that talent. I tell you.
For camera 3, just say you hit Nicole.
Yeah. Oh my God. So,
no.
Would you ever collab with the Spice Girls?
Yeah, why not?
Love that.
Favorite?
Have you got a favorite ever? Favorite other girl band aside, obviously yourself?
Oh gosh, TLC was my jam growing up, and Vogue I feel so incredibly inspired by. Little Mix. I guess I just love them all. I just love good music, and I love badass performances. Yeah. So I just have moments probably from most girl groups where I'm like, Fifth Harmony, they had some bangers while it lasted.
I know.
You know?
I know, till they did that. Do you remember that performance when they chucked Normani off the stage?
It's not all right that. You can't do that.
Would you have ever done that?
God, no. Who sat in that creative meeting and was like, so
let's get her off the stage.
This is what we're going to do. You're going to start your big performance and then we're just going to rip her off. Oh my God. Somebody raise your hand and say, no, this is not okay.
I remember giggling so much and the memes were so funny as well.
Oh my God.
I think it was definitely a meme moment. Do you know what I mean?
But it destroyed him.
Yeah, I know.
Destroyed him.
I know.
Camila Cabello's not mad about it, but
I know she's releasing those Christmas songs. She's doing
just fine.
I saw her. We were at Global's headquarters, and she was in Capital that day. And
who did I think it was?
I don't. Someone.
I said, is that Jessie Nelson or something? Stupid.
George thought it was Jessie Nelson, and I was like, oh, as an older gay brother, not.
You felt really
I've not done a good job. And then she came out, and I remember like, because I was like, oh wow, like she's really big. I used to listen to her music a lot, so I didn't really know what to do because I'm kind of sat there. So I just like went like this, like, but, like really weird grin, like pervy grin.
Oh god!
And she just like looked straight through me
with her 2 massive security guards.
like she was like this. And I was like, well, that just crushed all my dreams.
No.
Havana, no. None of that. But you know, I still like her. I still think she's fun. But yeah, she had like a lot of entourage around her. I was very intimidated.
Oh, it can be intimidating.
It can be intimidating.
Yeah.
It can.
Us girls, like all dressed in our doll's garb and mohawks and crazy hair and everything.
Yeah.
We were very intimidating.
Did you have any fans that like, have you had any weird fan interactions or fan moments?
I mean, I wouldn't say weird. I've got a lot of love for our fans.
Yeah.
Like, they were incredible. But there are a lot of tattoos out there of like my tattoos or my face or like doing the leg tail and stuff. Yeah.
No way. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know you just touched on your TV work. So I thought life after the PussyCat Dolls. I feel like we've grilled you enough.
Yeah.
And Brit.
You've really been through it. You're like, oh God.
What corner are we turning next?
Well, post PussyCat Dolls, I know you've done a lot on TV over here, especially.
Yeah.
Some shows that George and I really love as well. And you were on...
Were you like 3 when I was on Got to Dance?
Probably, yeah.
Not that one, but I mean, we fucking love MasterChef.
Yeah, I was a bit older for MasterChef.
But yeah, no, Sky One's Got to Dance you did. But that was after PussyCat Dolls, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And you were at Ashley Banjo, is that
That's
right?
right.
Is that 5 series?
5 series,
How was
yes.
that?
I loved it. It was epic.
Well, especially obviously now you've just said how dancing was such a big part for you.
Yeah.
To be like a judge on a show like that.
Oh my God,
Your
sitting in
bread
the
and
middle of Ashley Banjo and Adam Garcia, just watching this country's talent come. And it was like the first series was good, it was great, but it became a platform for kids to aspire towards and train for. And by the time we got to series 5, the talent in all styles of dance was epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the show.
Do you feel like people had gone on there and kind of learned from previous series? And do you know what I mean? Because you obviously pick up, if you like a certain performance, they'd be like, I'll do that, but I'll do it better. And then that's what I mean, probably
Absolutely.
by the
It
fifth series,
inspired a lot of people.
It was every performance was
I also I felt like
ace.
I had real purpose in there because anytime I went to speak or give critique, I was really honest.
Yeah.
Banjo would label me as the ice queen, but it was because I really wanted to plant a seed of change so that they could become the best that they could be.
Instead of like
It
kind of
did.
telling a white lie, like, yeah, that was good. Like,
Yeah, you have a great costume.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you look amazing.
You're so much better than me because I would just be like, that was great. I wouldn't change it. You're not going through, but I wouldn't change it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like honesty is best, especially in this industry. Well, I say this industry, like I'm in it. I can't fucking dance. What I'm saying is in that industry, it's so important to do that. But because I remember watching it when I was younger, but being like, I can't do this. I think I watched like a couple of episodes and was like, I can never do
You're
this.
doing great, sweetie.
Always, that's always me, just at the side, like, yeah. What was it like working with Ashley Banjo as well?
God, it was great. I mean, he was 19 years old when he was sat next to me on that show. Yeah.
No way.
So it was like his first big show outside of Britain's Got Talent with the Flawless Boys. And I mean, he was just not learning his craft. He'd been doing it for quite some time. But as far as coming to telly, it was like, you know, he's quite the kid.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Had you done TV before that?
Well, I've been touring with the Dolls. So we were constantly doing TV interviews and different bits and stuff.
That wasn't too like out of the ordinary for you.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was lovely. It was just amazing to do. And yeah, Banjo's brilliant. And he's done such great things in dance.
Yeah.
To date.
Agreed.
So,
Yeah, he's still kicking about, isn't he?
And then doing Dancing on Ice, happened to come skating out to Banjo as a judge. That was, oh my God.
I was about to say, how was that?
It was really awkward.
I bet when he was like critiquing you and that, you were like,
Shut up.
Yeah. I was your boss.
Not boss. But he did say, it's like, you know, I was talking about lines. I was going to say, like, you're the one that taught me everything about those lines. I was like, you should have said it.
Yeah.
You should have let everyone know.
Gassed me up on TV. How was the whole Dancing on Ice experience for you?
So scary. It was so scary.
I mean, as a female being, you've got to be the one getting lifted, thrown around, the headbangers, all that stuff. So I can imagine it must be really daunting because the trust aspect of it.
The trust aspect and the fact that I danced. So like people's expectations of what they wanted to see from me was unbelievable.
They're probably like, oh, if she can do this live on stage in front of 8,000 people, she can do it on the ice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Ice skating is really hard.
I can't ice skate.
It's really, really hard.
We went to Winter Wonderland, didn't we, the other day for the press night? Joe was like, oh, there's an ice skate ring, let's do it. I was like, I'm not embarrassing myself in front of all these people. I just can't.
The next year you'll be on dancing on ice.
See, I really like ice skating itself, you know, like putting jacket and going around and it's all like cutesy, especially where there's a lot of people that ice is quite rough. But I know that with Dance on Ice, they do a lot of like clean ice, don't they? It's smooth.
Yeah.
It's like literally on glass.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, the training rinks is a different story and there's a lot to avoid, but that ice on the show was amazing. But yeah, it was scary and like I have flexibility and everything, but doing it on a blade is a whole other thing. And then you kick or like do stuff towards your back. You're like, you don't want to freaking stick a blade
and also
in your
it's
own
like
head.
your partner's hands and stuff. Like you've got a blade. Like
week 2. We were walking through our stuff off of ice and I put my hand out and he did his at the same time. He whacked my finger. It was an accident, but whacked it and it bent it all the way back, tore my ligament in my hand. So I had to then do the rest of the whole series with a little like cast on. But I didn't tell anybody.
Bedazzle it.
I
wanted to, but they made it nude.
I feel
so
that's very Dancing on Ice, just like bedazzle it.
Exactly. Let's just make something of it.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so then the rest of it, I'm in a little cast. But I wouldn't let them tell anybody because I just didn't want to like play on the whole sympathy
all of a
thing.
sudden,
Also, it wouldn't
the
just
papers
be that.
are like,
Imagine the newspaper articles.
Exactly.
it would have been like Kimberly Wyatt's broke her arm.
Broken arm.
I'm having it.
Will she be able to skate next week?
Yeah.
I was like, let's keep it, straight to the art of it.
Yeah.
But then in the end, they're like, all she does is lift her legs. I'm like,
Please.
that's all you see on the
And
ice.
you do it well, so what now?
You also won Celebrity MasterChef.
I did. Thanks for bringing it up.
That is
my mum.
Cam.
My mum loves you because I say my mum, our mum.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sometimes
Is there something he's not told me?
Sometimes I disassociate and forget that we're brothers. Yeah, our mum loves you. And actually, when we were chatting so early, it was like, please talk about MasterChef because I loved you on MasterChef. So how was
makes me feel
that?
good. That was hard. It was so
Is it
hard.
as intense as it looks?
Even
'Cause obviously,
more so.
I know it's editing and all stuff like that, but it does actually look, when they're like standing over you, like what you making, I'd be like,
They choose the moments very carefully.
can they see you're struggling? They may come over and they're like, oh, Kimberly, you can't even break an egg. You're like,
Tiny bit of sweat dripping down. They're like, there you are.
yeah.
I've never shook like I had when you
Producers are like, she's broken. Go
get
over
her.
now.
And I remember you wait for them to like set up camera and get ready for the chat. But they're like, can you just stop and come over? I'm like,
Yeah.
just tell me like when you're ready and then I'll be ready. But no, they want to slow everything down because they want things bubbling over. They want it burning. They want the drama.
Yeah.
After obviously coming off the show, do you still have like a love for cooking and stuff?
God, I really
I guess
do.
you learn a lot starting off as, I guess, a mediocre cook or someone who knows how
Less
to...
than. Less than.
No, Joe.
Less than.
Okay, fine. You've been lucky there. But if you're like, I was trained.
I'm a chef.
I've done my research. Okay. But yeah, do you love? I'm guessing you love it now. I bet the kids have some proper good meals and stuff.
I would like to think so. I mean, I just had my first baby and I had no kitchen skills, so I went in thinking like, I need to figure this out.
At least beans on toast.
This kid's gotta eat.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the things that I learned on that show was epic and still definitely live with me to this day. But I would say kids have very minimal taste buds because you spend a whole day on an amazing dish and it'll be the one thing they're like, I don't like it.
Yeah,
they just want the beans on toast and the fish sticks.
I can't cook for shit. I burnt soup the other day.
Oh my God,
How'd you burn soup?
You know, you get the 30p noodles in the pack.
Yeah.
So I just had food poisoning. It was the first thing I was eating. I decided to boil them and I overboiled them and they literally turned into mush.
Oh, gross.
I know, and that's 30p noodles that you're meant to like boil for 4 minutes.
Any tips for people that can't cook? Please.
Practice.
Oh, shit.
I never thought that one,
But no, I think like lemon and herbs are just really good go-tos for
Okay,
everything.
fine.
Veg, meat, pretty much anything.
I'm
like
getting that on that
lemon,
Waitrose
go to
order.
the lemons.
The lemons.
Yes,
The
that's
lemon.
my tip.
If in doubt, go to the lemon.
Go to the lemons.
If only I knew it was that easy, guys. Just go to the lemon. You heard it here first. No, we're really, really bad. And like the fact that I've lived alone now for like 3 years and cannot cook.
It's so bad, but we're just like, oh, what should we cook tonight? And then we look at each other and we're like,
Do you know
Wagamama's.
what it is?
Yeah.
Do you know what
McDonald's.
It is?
You know what I mean?
It's
It's just so
easy to order something in London on Deliveroo. Like it's
Just
so
Eat,
easy.
Deliveroo, Uber Eats, anything. It's just like at the click of your
What
fingers.
did you guys do in lockdown?
We were at home, so we had
were at
mum
home
cooking
with
for us.
mum, and then mum was cooking all the time, so that was great. And like, even when I go home now, mum does cook for me, and it's just so much nicer because I feel like well fed and like nourished when I go home from my mum's. And then after 2 days, I'm pretty sure I'm anemic or something. Something's going on, something ain't right.
Oh my God,
The only
I've had
grapes I'm having is this
realization.
shit as well. So
I'm now that mum that's trying to do all the nourishing foods.
are you? Or
Yeah.
My mum used to do like, you know, the shots, didn't she? Like the green juice shots of a morning.
That was like my breakfast before school and
Yeah.
stuff, like
Oh,
kale,
come on,
spinach,
Mum.
and
She's a very
Yes.
like mumsy mum. Like when I put on a bit of weight in like year 9, 10 at school, she used to make me like salads for lunch with like baked crisps, not fried, because it was going to make me fatter, apples. And my friends used to like laugh at me and be like, "Oh, you on Weight Watchers?"
Oh, I love you.
I mean, I did
for
lose weight.
that.
Thanks,
Yes.
mum. Also got bullied for it. So damn you, Lisa.
Didn't you in the final of MasterChef face Rylan?
Rylan,
How
yeah.
was that?
It was
I wouldn't
great.
be able to keep a straight face looking over and he's like, you know what I mean?
He kept me going through the whole thing because if we weren't in the kitchen, we would be waiting, and we would just always be doing like PussyCat dolls and steps choreography and
that's
dancing.
so
and
That was a
singing.
dream for him.
That is
He
so
loved
funny.
it. But yeah, we always have a bone to pick because he's very upset that he didn't win, but I'm very upset that I won, but he's getting all the cooking shows. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, you need a cooking show.
I know.
And
Tell me
the
about it.
photo for the cooking show should be you holding a mixing bowl on your foot as it's lifted. If
You
this,
heard it here
if this
first.
happens, I want my 10%.
Copyright it.
Because I've just thought of that right now. No, I love that. I love that so much. People say that I when I have dark hair and my beard's a bit beardier, people said in the street that I look like Rylan. What do you think?
Well, when we were chatting before we
Yeah.
started filming, I got Rylan vibes. Not that you guys look like each other,
Yeah.
but it's just the way that I think you speak.
Do you like Rylan?
I love Rylan.
Good. I'm glad we cleared that
I
up.
just started tearing up.
Do you like Rylan?
No, I do.
Yeah.
I actually would love him on the pod on my side. So if
Yeah.
you're watching,
I bet he would come on. He's
get
brilliant.
fucking over it.
Come on, Rye.
And we'll have like a personality off, I guess, if everyone thinks we're similar. Every job I've had, people be like, you give me Rylan vibes. I've always had it.
Yeah.
Just very close to my mum and I've got a big mouth. So.
That's what it is.
must be that. So,
At
Nowadays,
least you haven't had a snake in your house.
I thought you said arse. I thought you said snake in your arse. And I was like,
Well, there's still time.
I'm a celeb next year. You never know. You never know. He had a snake in his hat.
Oh, he did a
wait,
grass
no.
snake.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Was that on
Yeah.
TikTok?
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some weird stuff in our house. We have a lot of birds at home. We're on a
Running
flight
in.
path. And I mean, the house was built 10 years ago, so I don't know what fucking birds are still flying into our windows. But a lot of birds seem to make their way into the house. And I'm petrified of birds. So mum had a bird come in the other day, poo all over her bed and leave. I once had a bird come into my room. I heard this so I woke up and there's this shaking of the blind. So I'm thinking, what is that? Pull up the blind. It's like a blue tit. It got so scared that it shit all over my windowsill and died. So I was crying my eyes out. Not for the, I was so scared. My mum was on the
For
phone to
me.
the doctors downstairs at the time. And I'm like, "Mum!" And she's like, 1 second, sorry. And then she got back on the phone and was like, my son's got a dead, I was like 18. My mum's like, my son's found a dead bird. I've got to go. So that's me with animals anyway. So it's very Rylan vibes, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's
it
giving
is.
Rylan.
It is.
So nowadays, with plans for future,
Yeah.
you've got a podcast going on at the moment.
We do, my husband and
Tell us
I.
more.
Well, it's called The Fame Game. We don't have a snazzy setup like this. We just do it in our own home after a school
that's
run.
sweet though.
Yeah, no, we love it. It's just because my husband has done a lot as a model, done GQ covers and worked for Tom Ford and all
Lucky
sorts.
bitch.
You know, met on stage, post show live, Birmingham. So it's just like chat. It's kind of, he would like to say it's a guide for people that would like to be famous of what to
Sure.
expect. And it is to an extent, but it's also just a platform to share stories and have a chit chat about all things
fairly
fame.
Yeah.
new as well, isn't it? I think you've got 4 episodes out. hasn't
Yeah,
it?
episode 4 comes out this week,
Exciting.
Thursday.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the topic?
I don't know. I don't remember what's next.
You're like,
Nudity was the last one.
saw that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the next one is. But yeah,
It's exciting though.
It'll be
We will be
something
having a
great.
listen.
Good. Of course, it'll be something.
We will be
great.
listening.
I hope you do.
No. I will be.
Yeah.
And also, any more plans for like TV? Anything that you want to do? Any like dream shows or anything like that?
I mean, always, like, I do a lot of acting, which I absolutely love, and did Almost Never on CBBC for 3 series.
Right. Yeah.
As Sasha Small, great role to have. So yeah, I love telly. It's
Yeah.
been like my bread and butter. And
I feel like you're quite an open book as well. Like if someone threw a show at you, you'd be like, you know what, I'll give that
Yeah.
a go.
probably
Like,
for the most part. Like I love doing, when it comes to more of the celebby shows, I do stuff like when you get to learn something.
Yep.
MasterChef, for
course,
instance.
yeah.
The Jump, like being able to learn winter sports.
Yeah.
Don't Rock the Boat, learning to row and rowing the length of Britain.
Yeah.
Like I love that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to do more telly. When, where, and how, I'm not sure
would
what's
you
next.
ever do The Jungle?
Oh, God. I mean, I have been asked a few times. I'm not like...
Get a snake in your ass.
I wouldn't say, like, yeah, I have a feeling at some point I will probably end up in the jungle. We all do.
Yeah.
At some point or another.
It looks-
Sure, my time is right around the corner.
No, it does look like the most insane thing, doesn't it? Like,
does.
But I feel like that you'd like obviously you've got kids,
Yeah.
so you'd be not exactly camp mum, but they're bringing in younger people, obviously, and obviously you're a good cook.
I mean, you're
so-
very physically.
I'm good with fires as well.
You're the
Well, this is what I mean. You've ticked all the boxes.
You are the perfect camp mum, chef, physically fit for challenges,
Entertainment.
entertaining.
Firestar.
Fires.
Get her in.
Yeah. Right, the campaign
Loves a
starts now.
challenge.
Yeah.
I just don't want to put that horrible stuff in my mouth.
Tell me about it.
Well, you did walk into that.
You see me at heaven on a Friday
do that
night. I
from
tell you
time
that.
to time. Oh God.
No, I did watch an eating challenge. I actually watched the Fern McCann eating challenge when she got the spider in the glass and had to eat it live. And I watched that and I thought, how the fuck someone can physically do that? It's just insane.
But I guess you just get to that point, don't you? And you know everybody's watching. You just have to make it happen. Listen, like my bandmate Ash did it. She came in second, and she's one of the most picky eaters I've ever known. And she was eating like fish eyeballs
Smashed
and
it,
stuff.
yeah.
So I mean, things can be done.
It'd be the spiders with me. I couldn't do it.
Really.
Yeah.
I'm scared of everything, aren't I?
Get you in.
Everything. Even like, I went to this like cabin retreat thing at the weekend and there was a spider on the side. I was just screaming.
Even a cat
Non-stop
came
screaming.
into the cabin, right?
Oh my
a wild cat, and he shit
Even
himself.
a domestic like animal comes into the cabin. I'm like, because I thought it was a raccoon because of the tail, right? But I don't even fucking think we have raccoons.
We
here.
definitely don't.
There was no raccoon.
No.
It was a cat, and it was a friendly cat, and it tries to eat my Dominoes and fight or flight. I was like, get this fucker out. So I don't know how I'd do in the jungle.
Oh my
I mean, it'd probably be
God.
entertaining, I'm not going to lie, but
I think you need the jungle. We'll have to toughen you up.
agreed.
Yeah.
And give me a bit of mobility as well.
There's mobility. We'll get you stretching.
Get me stretching.
Touch your toes.
Oh my God.
We are going to play Drinkopoly, and the first question is for you, Kimberly.
Okay.
You have 5 seconds to name 3 condom brands.
Trojan.
Isn't that like the giant one?
Yeah. We go straight to it. Oh, I don't know. That's all I got.
Durex.
Trojan. Durex,
And
yes.
Skin.
All right, George. Bloody, for the Virgin, you're pretty well clued up. I didn't know any. I knew Durex and Trojan.
I haven't had to use condoms for a really
I
long
was
time.
about
at
to
this
say,
point.
you're asking
there's no
the wrong
condoms in
lady.
your house.
You're asking the wrong lady
I
here.
had 3 babies in the past 10 years. Ain't no more coming in as well.
George, drink 4 sips if you've ever hooked up in a pool or hot tub.
I'm Joe.
I'm George.
I thought he got confused his own name, and that's why I went.
Jill?
Not us forgetting our
Yeah, let me
names.
finish my drink.
Wait, in a
Oh,
pool or
shit.
hot tub?
Yeah. Do you remember the Jack Wills trip?
Who
Yeah.
was it? Sauce.
She actually has a famous brother who's a singer.
Famous
We'll leave it
brother?
there.
The singer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Got nothing.
I think by law we can't say anything else.
Yeah. NDAs are in place.
This is a weird one. I don't even know if this is Kimberly. Do the Carol Baskin TikTok dance. If you get it wrong, drink 1 sip. What was that?
It was the tiger one.
Was
Oh,
it
I
like
don't
the
know.
Savage dance anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, you can drink a sip if you want. I thought that was a shit question.
okay, fine.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Did you guys get into the whole Tiger King thing during lockdown?
You did?
I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched, there was a second series, wasn't there? But it was a bit weird because I feel like they'd lost
He was
all
in
of
prison.
Yeah, because he's in prison, they'd kind of lost that element to it. So it was just like him speaking from prison. I was a bit bored.
Yeah.
But I was so into it.
Me too.
I actually dressed up. I'll show you after. I dressed up as the cast for my birthday. So I basically painted. So I ordered a kit off Amazon. I painted myself orange like a tiger. This is how bored I was during lockdown. Then I ordered a mullet wig and a blazer. So I edited myself next to myself. And then I got Mum to be Carol Baskin. And were you in it?
No. I was taking the photos.
I wanted George in it. I wanted George in it, but he said he didn't want to be painted as a tiger, so I just did it myself. I'm a man of many talents.
And I have every right to not wanting to be painted
It's true.
as a tiger.
I can't believe Carol Baskin did Dancing with the Stars.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
And then she was like, I'm just doing this for the cats. And I'm like, if that's the code word for money now, then I guess it's all for the cats, isn't it, Harold? Kimberly, I mean, we did not write these questions. Name 3 plus sides of being super dumb. That sounds very like the app site. What's it like?
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What's another plus size of being dumb?
I feel like a lot of guys.
Why is Kimberly looking at me? You're like, what's that?
The dumb blonde thing is quite easy to be like, oh, like, sorry.
Is that why? That's why he's dyed his hair. He's
Yeah.
Just
I
get
like
away with shit.
a lot of
Yeah.
mistakes recently. I'm like, I'm just a dumb blonde.
No, but
see.
I like the blonde, you know.
Thank you.
I do.
You wanted me to dye my eyebrows.
No, don't do it.
No, but like
You look like an alien.
I thought that. And what do I do with the beard then?
dye it as well. Go full on
I
white.
look like Santa.
You have to get a glitter beard. Have you ever done that?
No, but I really want
fun.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I might do that.
Go to Glitter Box or Sink the Pink or Mighty Hoopla.
Yeah.
Mighty
Hoopla.
Yeah.
You should do Hoopla.
DJing at Hoopla.
You should DJ at Hoopla.
I will.
Because I'm obsessed with Hoopla. It's like one of my favourite
Me too.
festivals.
I mean,
yeah,
Glenn
yeah.
that puts it on, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love
you going
him.
next year?
Potentially.
Go, come with. I'm
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. We were at Sink the Pink. We performed at Sink the Pink, Ash and I.
Yeah.
And then crowned Bimini that night. And then she's gone off to do such amazing things.
Yeah, I love Bimini.
So do
love
I.
Bimini. You know what? All the queens from that season, like Ahura, Taste, Bimini, like just insane now, aren't they?
Astina Mandela will forever be a fave.
Yes, sir. I saw
love
her perform last week at Beyonce theme night. Honestly, they're so talented.
Oh, because she was on stage with us for Sink the Pink, and it was
Yeah.
just so like the energy is amazing.
No, unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. George doesn't have an absolute
No.
Cool
scoop.
conversation.
Do you know
guys.
RuPaul?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Only because I've been forced to watch Drag Race 3 times.
But you did watch an episode of the recent series
I did.
of Drag Race UK, and you did like it.
Yeah.
It's easy to get into.
yeah, it's just a bit. Yeah. I get it.
Rooting for the girls.
Yeah.
George, if you've ever forgotten the name of a one night stand, take 2 sips.
Well, I can't sit.
But like, maybe not sexual. Have you ever forgotten the name of anyone? No?
No.
Okay, fine.
Quite good with
He's
names.
very loyal, our George. Kimberly, name 3 things you'd do if you were president.
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a really good question.
President here in the States.
Why don't we say states? 'Cause the
I mean,
state-
let's say Prime Minister here or President of the States, you choose.
Well, the whole abortion thing in the States is buck wild.
Oh my God,
so
it's fucked.
we'd turn that back around.
Yeah, that's fucked.
I think division is a problem. The whole homeowners association rules of segregation, I would take a look into that and make some
Guns?
serious changes. Gun reform would also definitely be at the top of
Yeah.
that list.
Well,
so yeah.
Kim for president.
Kim for president, man. That's what I'm saying.
So, look, I'm going to plan out your career from here on. I say jungle, president.
That's right, you go.
The jungle's my campaign trail.
We'll be behind you. We're making TikToks behind the scenes. Like,
Great.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm the campaign manager for Kimberly Wyatt's run for... When's the next election?
Probably like 2026 or something.
2024 in the States anyway.
Okay.
Oh, fine. You got 2 years.
We'll be going up against Trump.
I'm doing it. We're doing it. Joe, down your drink if you've ever driven drunk. Shame on you. No. We abide by laws here.
Always.
Come on, name George.
I'm not drinking for that.
I was about to say. We abide by laws here.
Cheers. You're like, when are we leaving? Because I've got to get back to get out of car keys.
Yeah. Now, where did I park? Oh God.
That's amazing.
George, name 3 things that can go in an anus. Something very different to the interviews you've done before. I'm not gonna lie.
A finger.
Oh my God, I thought we were going with like fruits or
A
something.
cucumber.
Yeah.
And a banana.
Okay, fine. Oh, God.
Tried to keep it as PG as I could.
Yeah, thanks, George.
You're welcome.
Oh no. Joe, name 3 things that all guys do during sex.
I feel like Kimberly could answer this for us.
Very experienced.
After your track record.
I actually, like, that's such a hard one to say, especially in front of your brother. I almost had a moan.
Come.
I've got it. Moan, come, thank you, and wash their willy in the sink afterwards. I think a lot of people do that.
That's so funny.
Sink specifically.
Sink the pig. George, oh no, that is...
No,
honestly-
don't answer it then. Ask it.
Oh, Kimberly, name 3 adjectives that describe George. Don't be shy.
Ooh. George. That describe you.
Yeah.
Well, lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Cheeky. I feel like you've got some cheekiness in there.
Take that.
And young.
Thank you.
Yes.
Even though Botox inbound with my credit
Oh, you'd
card.
be able to get that gifted or something. Something can happen, George.
You're too young.
No,
Oh,
true.
don't. I hit
Wait till
25
you're
and I was
like-
I need it.
Oh my
I need
God.
it so bad.
25.
Not the crow's feet.
You know, I think when I left my
I think you
corporate
gotta
job-
wait till you're in your 30s.
you think?
I do. Because you're stuck with it for the rest of your life.
It's prevention.
Enjoy your
prevention rather
I
than
know.
cure, isn't it?
30s.
30s.
20s is
I think
young.
we'll give it like 4 more years from May next year. I think 4 more years.
30. Wait till you're 30.
My old boss used to say to me, he used to joke around in emails and say that I had crow's feet.
And now you are affected. You felt bullied.
And now I'm insecure. That's how it works, kids. George, last question. George finished this sentence, I never. So basically, you've got to give us a scenario, like I never. And then if you think Kim or I have done it, then we both drink, basically. So maybe something outrageous. Hit us with your best shot.
We're ready.
We're ready. Rose and ham, we're ready.
I never had a threesome on tour. It's only for one person.
I mean, I've been on tour, so.
Oh, I really thought you were going to drink then.
Sorry, mate.
Sure.
Awesome.
Sorry.
And on that note,
Sixum.
and on that note,
George Bags, you dirty little
I
devil.
was trying to get some tea. That is it for today's podcast, guys. Thank you so much for watching
Or listening.
or listening. I was just going to say, Kimberly, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you.
We really,
It's
really
been
appreciate
so
it.
lovely having you on and get to know you
Yeah.
and everything about your career. And we're really excited to see what happens next. And we'll definitely be tuning into your podcast as well. And we're going Hoopla next year, so it's happening. And she's DJing at my birthday, so you
Well, you heard it
this
here
all.
first. Along with me.
Yeah,
Guys, if you did like the pod, please leave us a like and a comment. Subscribe to us, obviously, if you haven't already. If you're not, which you should be, follow Kimberly, follow me and Joe, follow Not My Bag.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on Spotify, and we will see you next week for a very exciting episode.
All we've got to say is bye-bye.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Kimberly for President 2024. Bye.